Hello, and in this video I want to explain to you what perfect practice is. Because most people know the saying, practice makes perfect, and that's their idea of what perfect practice is, but that does not work in tumbling. Because there's really one way to do it correctly and hundreds of ways to do it wrong. And what you practice over and over again creates a muscle memory. So in other words, if you're practicing your skills badly, then you get better at doing your skills bad. So practice makes perfect isn't enough for tumbling practice, because really practice makes permanent. What you practice, the way you practice your skills, becomes a muscle memory and becomes something that you don't even consciously think about. You just constantly do your skills wrong. Tumbling skills are very complicated, and without muscle memory, we never could remember every single position we need to do. So when we practice, we got to make sure that we're practicing our skills correctly. In fact, we need to practice them perfectly every single time. So you need to know what positions are the right position, and that's what our tumble rules cover. So now it's not just practice makes perfect, it is practice makes permanent. So we need to do perfect practice to make perfect permanent. Because anytime you let a position slip, you're doing the skill in a different way. You're getting in a bad position, you're losing potential power, you're losing the potential to do more with that skill. Plus you're putting yourself in a place that is probably hurting your joints, or you're putting yourself in positions that will cause your skills to collapse, possibly causing an injury, which we want to avoid. So perfect practice, you're going to be able to progress quicker from one skill to another because you don't have problems that makes that skill collapse. You're going to actually be very strong and solid in your position and feel very confident about what you're doing. If you're in bad positions and you're almost collapsing, your brain can feel that. It can feel that it's in an unsafe area, and it triggers the fear response and causes you to be scared to do that skill. Well, it's because you're in the wrong position. We've got to train our skills constantly in the correct position. You cannot let it slack in any skill. So with that, let's make sure that we're studying our tumble rules, hitting our flexibility position so that we can get our body into those correct positions, and developing our strength so that we're strong enough to do those positions correctly. And then constantly go over the core skills that show you how to do the skills correctly. That's what you want to picture in your mind when you're doing those skills. You want to have that picture in your mind of what that skill looks like to help your brain run the program that will cause this skill to work that way for you. Cause this skill to be in the correct positions because you're picturing this skill the way it should be done. So that's the core of this program, and the backbone of what it's all about is perfect practice. And that's why we call it perfect tumble practice. So let's get to work, get into the videos, follow the lesson plans, follow the weekly lesson plans. Constantly study what you have to do these skills correctly. It's not enough for the coaches to know how to do the skills correctly. It's your brain telling your body how to do the skill. It has to be in your brain, and you have to run the program when you're doing your skills, so you do your skills correctly. Do not do your skills absent-mindedly and just throw yourself around on the floor. You're not a tumbleweed being blown in the wind. You should use your brain and control what you're doing in all of your skills. And do your skills correctly. We must practice perfectly. So let's go get into the program. Let's get it done and constantly study this week after week to drill it in your mind so that you're doing your skills perfectly. See you in the next video.